welcome again to Agri-Connect, and today we are continuing with our discussion on the beginning phase of catfish production. That is from the juveniles and the fingerlings production, and we are going to specifically look at the housing bit of it, the requirements, what you should look out for, how often you should clean it, and some other interesting facts you wouldn't want to miss. Do stay with us. Now, I want to venture into catfish.
Yeah.
I have no idea. You train people. Can you take us through the housing components of it when it comes to the tanks, how often you clean it, and some other interesting things?
Okay. Some people are using this type of a tank now. Maybe those who want to do it just at the backyard. Okay. So this one can only take 100. So this is one. This is concrete tank. So I have this one is for the fingerlings. So I have the bigger one that we use for the growing out. Is the one outside it. So that's another housing for them. Then we can use tarpaulin tank. I use some. So I have some at the back there. I think something like the one outside there, the white tanks and all those things. So that one we can do any sizes. Then we have an earthen pond. That is the dugout. So that one is the best. Is the best because it's like their natural habitat. But the issue is it has to be in a waterlogged area because it requires a lot of water. So those are the things we can use for them. And earthen pond, tarpaulin tank, or concrete tank. So when you are constructing your concrete tank, you do it with an outlet. That is, if you want to drain out the water like this, so the water is going out. Maybe if I want to harvest this, I open it. So I have the one outside, the one with tap, that when you open it, the water is going out. Just like the way all this, they are all connected with an outlet. All this. If I want to drain out this, I put this one down, the water is going out. So the tarpaulin tanks also, it comes with an outlet. So those are the things you can use. So another thing is you must not overstock them. Every tanks, they have their capacity and they have the numbers of fishes they can take. So like I said, that this can take just 100. So if you put more than 100, they will not grow very well. So that's how we do it. The tarpaulin tank. So we have 5 by 5, 10 by 10, all the sizes with numbers of fishes we can take.
So what of the aeration?
Aeration.
When it comes to because I can see your setup as interesting.
This is aerator. It gives oxygen to the pond. That's it. See that the rush to the we use that because there are more inside the tank, more than the capacity of the tank. So it will support them with oxygen. But if you are going to rear them to an adult, a grown out, if you put the normal numbers of the fishes, you don't need like the one here. You see, they are just there. You want a tank here, no aerator. But if you are doing tilapia, they need aerator unless you are doing it on a natural pond. But this one, they are more resistant than tilapia, so they can survive without aerator.
So how often do you clean the water? From my research, I realized that the more you feed them, the more the water is less able to retain oxygen, and this also affects them. So how often do you clean your water?
When you feed them, they are like all living things. When they eat, they excrete. So those are the things that pollute the water. Leftover feed. So when you are feeding them, you make sure that you don't feed them in excess, that the remaining fish are on the surface that will later drop to the bottom. So if you can maintain the feeding, so at least you can change your water once in a week so that they will not get disease. Because If the water is dirty, they can contact disease through the dirty water. If the water is polluted, so if you maintain good water, at least once in a week you change your water. Some people change every 4 days. Some people they have water they change 3 days. At least 5 days is okay, so that your water will not smell. So if the water is smelling, they will not stand inside the water. They will not stay inside the water. You see them coming up, gasping for air because the oxygen has reduced. And that can cause mortality.
Now you mentioned that the water sometimes, well, with the as you feed them, they excrete as well. So this means the water is rich in nutrients when it comes to even watering maybe crops with it or using it for some other purposes. So do you recycle the water when or you?
There's a way we can recycle the water. But me, I just open the water because I have enough water. But for those who don't have enough water, there is a way we can do recycling, filtration and recycling system. So that we will construct it beside the pond with a filtration tank. So with a pump, with water pump, it pumps the water from the pond into the filtration tanks. So the tanks will filter it. Then the water will.
That is more like aquaponics.
Yeah, so the water will go back to the. I do something like that also. I do for people.
Okay.
And that is
You mentioned some of the critical components when it comes to the housing. Is there maybe some other things you want to add when it comes to setting up the housing? For even the location, you mentioned that when floods affect so what are some of the, when it comes to even the topography, selecting the land, what should people look out for before they even start or set up there?
Like those who are doing it at the backyard or you want to do it in an open place like this or this place, you look for a way that flood will not affect you. Like that farm, last year, you can see the tarpaulin. The flood lifted the tarpaulin, it overturned all the fishes there. So you look for that. Without that, you can do it anywhere. But if you are doing the earthen pond, so it has to be closer to water because that you need enough water than the and that one you don't change the water often. Then you will be filling your water because the ground will be sucking up the water every day, so you'll be refilling the water. So apart from that, if you are doing it at your backyard, you don't have any problem. You just be changing your water.
Maybe you can put out a call for individuals who are interested in setting up maybe the fish or where they can find you.
Okay.
So you can reach into that.
We are at Agri-Connect bus stop. Media is along Agri-Connect road. So the road off Agri-Connect road, Kotoku road at Agri-Connect Street, Corey Farms. You are welcome.
This brings us to the end of these episodes on the juvenile and fingerlings production when it comes to catfish farming. Do stay with us as we explore more agricultural ventures. My name is Nana Isumabasa.